Hi everyone, welcome to NFTV Extra. We are live. I'm your host, Lee. Hope you're all keeping well. And it's been a long while since we've done an update with the under-23s and the women combined. It's been about a month, and we have quite a bit to rattle through. We have a double header a day. Obviously, you're live with us now while you're watching the rerun, but over on Newcastle Fans TV, we have Carl later talking about the takeover. So do tune in for that. But yes, so obviously the pandemic cut short both the under-23s and also the women's side as well. We're going to be looking at coaches on both sides, from the women's and the under-23s have been appointed. We've seen 4 of the under-23s lads join new clubs. We've seen a league restructure, AFL Trophy Cup draw, and we'll also touch upon about the women's results so far in pre-season. Going to take you back to when this man, do you recognise him? Local lad, Peter Ramage, is back at the club. I think it's, first of all, we've talked quite a bit of it on this channel the last probably 2 years, and including the main channel as well, that we want a bit of Geordie DNA coming back into Newcastle. Now, if you look at the coaching squad, whatever you think of the abilities of them, you've seen Steve Harper return, Peter Ramage obviously pictured there, and you've also got Shola Amiobi, who's back at the club, and Adam Bartlett, who was released as a youngster. And then you think about all the Geordies. You've got Steve Bruce in the first team, and then you think about the players. There's a lot more Geordies around the place. Obviously, Mark Gillespie, Paul Dummett, Andy Carroll, and the 2 Longstaff brothers as well. So there's a lot more Geordies in around Newcastle. And I think it's a good move from him. Obviously, he's spent a lot of time, Ramage, out in the States, developing his coaching badges, and now he's going to be assistant Chris Hogg with the under-23s going forward. And of course, I want to be getting to a lot more of the under-23s this season. Didn't so much last season. The season was cut short, which was disappointing, but I think it's a great appointment by Newcastle. It's clever, bringing Peter Ramage in to get his whereabouts, of course. Get your comment in as well if you are watching live as well. And then we're going to move forward to Victor Fernandez. Now, Victor Fernandez, obviously, it was a massive key thing for me. But for whatever reason, he didn't make it in Newcastle. He's got all the ability in the world. He can go past players with pace, ease, but he's got so many injuries, and I feel for the lad. But he has found a new club, thankfully. I actually spoke to him over on Instagram last week, and he's joined Viitorul, who are in the Romanian Premier Division, only formed in 2009, but the guy who's pictured with Fernandez there is actually a legend. If you know your football, Georgi Popescu, the former Romanian centre-back, and also Georgi Hagi, the legend. That is Hagi, well known across the world. He is the owner of Viitorul as well. And I've also got Rivaldinho, who was actually the son, believe it or not, of the famous Brazilian Rivaldo on the books. So it's a fantastic move for Victor Fernandez. So all the good wishes, good luck to him. Moving on to another lad who's moved out the club, which is Jake Turner. He's joined Morecambe on loan for the rest of the season. I personally think it's a fantastic move. I've said this before, I'm not his biggest fan with the under-23s, so I do feel that Dan Langley now needs the chance. I said that a while back, last month, that Dan Langley needs to now become the number 1 in the under-23s. That'll happen now that Jake Turner's gone out on loan. Go and prove me wrong. That's what I'm asking. Go out and prove me and everybody else wrong. Gone out with Morecambe. He knows the area, obviously, because he was on the books of Bolton, which is not far off Morecambe. So yeah, he doesn't have to relocate as much, obviously being a Bolton lad. But yeah, it's a great move from down on the west, on the northwest. Go out and become number 1. Go and prove us all wrong. I think it's a great move for Jake Turner, because I think having another season in the 23s at his age, now he's getting on a little bit, so he's coming up to 22. Yeah, it makes sense to get him out of Morecambe. And he's not the only one who's left the under-23s as well. It's another one, and it's a good one. This one is Tom Allen, who again, Accrington, not a million miles from outside, just outside of Manchester, northwest, not far from Morecambe, funny enough. But it's a fantastic move for Tom Allen, who got his debut with the first team in the Cup when he set up Joe Linton. Yeah, he set up Joe Linton. Yeah, I'll say that again. He set up Joe Linton. Joe Linton, who doesn't score many goals. Allen came on. He played on the right wing, set up the Brazilian to score. Obviously, 17 goals for the under-23s last season before the season was cut short. That figure could have well easily gone over 20 without a shadow of a doubt. Fantastic move. Hopefully, my only concern is that he's not played out the wing. I would like to see him given a chance to play up top in a division where he's in the same league as Sunderland. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on how Tom Allen goes. We'll do a few reports on the socials and on this channel as well. But it's a fantastic move from him. He's one of the hopes with the under-23s that you go on and do well. So, again, let us know what you think of the move of Tom Allen. This one, and we have included it because technically he was training with the under-23s, but we know that he's not an under-23 player, which is Jack Holdback, who has officially joined Nottingham Forest. This picture is not the latest one. This was taken from when he originally joined them on loan 18 months ago or so. It was 18 months back. We've got him off the wages, which is the main thing for me. And that's saving ourselves reported 40, 50 grand a week that Callback was on, which is mental. But he was training with the under-23s, obviously, with Benitez and Bruce, kind of pushed him out towards the under-23s. But Bruce did allow him to train with the first team, quite similar to a bit like Henri Savet, whereas Benitez was like, nah, you're going to the under-23. So that's the reason why we've kept him in this video, because he's not really a first team player. But I think for him himself, he lives down Nottingham, you'll play first team football. Obviously, Forest only just missed out in the playoffs this year, so the Forest fans are delighted that they've got Callback. I just think that moves make sense for Jack Callback to go out on Forest in the Championship. Now we're going to move off the player development and have a look now at actually the Premier League 2, Division 2, that's the league that we're in, is actually getting reconstructed. So we'll bring it on screen now. And the reason why is because we've got 3 teams which have been added this season, which is Burnley, Crystal Palace and Leeds have all been given a Category 1. Now what that means is that they've got one of the better academies in terms of facilities producing players. So the Premier League have now given them that status, which means there'll be 14 teams in our division, 13 in the first division. But Newcastle, of course, before the season was cut short, were hovering around the playoffs. You're looking at that, them sides expect Middlesbrough to do very well. Middlesbrough's got a great academy. West Brom normally tend to do well. So those are probably a couple of tips for you. Villa have got a good academy. Sunderland have got an awful academy. They came bottom. But the league has been reconstructed. Of course, the under-23s are already where you would think they're back in training. There's no official proof of that, but I do believe that they are back in training. So the league is getting completely changed around. And news, of course, today that the under-23s also, now when I say under-23s, it's technically the under-21s that play in this competition. So there is a little bit of change of laws and regulations on this. So Chris Hogg, who of course is the manager of the under-23s, has found out his opponents today. And they're looking at this draw, the lads will be absolutely delighted that they've got Bolton. Bolton were only in the Premier League in 2012. Only 8 years ago, they were a Premier League side. And remember, the sides have to play their first team. So the under-21s, Chris Hoggle, obviously, you can select overage players, but it's very rare that this happens in this competition. It's a strange competition because in the group stages, you get a point if you go to penalties and get beat, which is weird, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? It's very strange how that works. But if you go to penalties and win that, you get 2 points, which is even more bizarre. But if you win the game outright, you get 3 points. So, yeah, that's the rules of the EFL Trophy group stages. It's backwards. It just is. I don't make the rules up with the EFL Trophy. But that's the wrap-up with the under-23s. We're going to move across now and talk a little bit about the women's side because we are still continuing the women's news on this channel. And, of course, the Lloyd Miller joined Newcastle United Women's Football Club. And then he has joined Becky Langley's coaching side. He's obviously had a spell out in America. He's now back in England. If you look at his Twitter, he hammers Newcastle, so he seems to be a very, very keen Newcastle supporter. He's got his Twitter timeline battered with Newcastle. He's helping the ladies train, get up to speed for the start of the season as well. But with actually just the season's only around the corner, which we'll come to in a moment. But I want to bring up a few of the pre-season results. Newcastle Newcastle women's have played 5 pre-season games here. They started off playing against Wroxham, where they won 4-1. A bit of a bore, 0-0 draw against neighbours Wallsend. Redcar, obviously near Middlesbrough, defeated them 3-0 quite comprehensively. Absolutely smashed West Allotment 9-0. A lot of these games were played in Leamington, which is just next to Newburn, just across the bridge from Bladen. But then the big test is when they went away to Wolves, obviously a bit more higher quality of teams that they're playing, and they got beat off Wolves 2-1. But the season is coming back around again, similar to the under-23s, is that their season got cut short because of the pandemic, which when you look at the grassroots football, because that's what the ladies are, there's not enough money in the game for it. And we want to still highlight that, and the foundation obviously take care of the women's side as well. You can actually see Lloyd Miller on the top left of the picture there behind in the coach, and with a couple of girls. You can see Megan on the right-hand side. But the league campaign kicks off on Sunday, the 20th of September, which isn't too far away. And obviously the Champions League with the women's going up a higher level actually starts on BT Sport this next few days. So if you're into your women's football and need your fix, check out BT Sport. But we're looking to try and get to a couple more of the home games and any nearby away games. So the women's side kick off on Sunday the 20th. And of course, we'll keep you up to date with that. So that is your wrap for the under-23s and the women's. Head over to the first channel, which has a call going to be going out with a takeover video tonight, and we'll keep you up to date. We've also got Liam's FIFA series, the Greenwood and Mulliner show, and I'll be keeping you up to date with the under-23s, and of course the women's. Enjoy your evening, everyone. Take care. Watch what you're doing. Bye bye.